So that would tell us that although penicillium does create mycotoxins, it did not create mycotoxins in this house that we could detect. And that was a pretty thorough sampling. So that just goes to show you. So this is exciting. So the world of mycotoxin testing is relatively new. The methods, who's got the best one, don't know. It's all really expensive, so it's difficult to just trial and error everybody and see who you like. But the lab that I've been using for 10 years has mass spectrometry, which is supposedly one of the best, if not the best way to see the mycotoxin lab. And I like that because I have both sets of labs, and then we have pictures of my protocol, what a protocol should look like or something similar. So this is real life job going on right now. Where it all starts on the right here are what I'm going to call the conventional labs. This is the aerosol cassettes that have been around since 2000. Typical swab with a culture. You do viable and non-viable swabs. These are viable. So it all starts, first things first, I come in, evaluate the house, walk through, determine where I'm going to do my sampling, looking for watermarks, active water leaks, visible mold. This house had damage going on everywhere, but specifically we're going to concentrate on the master bedroom and bathroom because that's the source of the majority of the problem here. So when I took my air samples, now when you get, so what we have on this line here is chaetomium. Now that's a water damage indicator, and it usually runs with Stachybotrys, which is down here, which we did not get, but it's one that shows up after a couple of months, month or two of consistently wet. So in the master bedroom, and this client they have been to the doctor and they have mycotoxin blood work. So they brought this to me. I had a previous inspection with them. They brought this back to me 2 years later, and what I identified on the initial inspection, they never fixed. So here we are. But the master bedroom, we got a small hit, a 1 raw count, 13 counts per cubic meter of chaetomium, airborne. That's not an airborne mold, so when you get it airborne, that's a big tell. So that tells us right away that we've got water damage in the area. So that's a big tell right there, our air sample. The swab that I took from this area right here is the bedroom wall at a doorway headed into the bathroom. We'll come back to that. So in this particular case, from a previous inspection, I said this area needed to be demoed and remediated. They did not follow through with that. They just cut a hole in the wall and left it. Well, there was visible mold there to be swabbed, so I swabbed it. It comes back chaetomium, globosodum, and Stachybotrys. We got the gene and the species here, chaetomium and stachy. So we have chaetomium here. So this is the conventional lab. So we got chaetomium in the master bedroom. We have chaetomium and stachy in the master bedroom, visible in this wall cavity right there. So this is the master bedroom. Here's their bed. Here's this wall. You walk into the bathroom. Here's this old style marble shower that traditionally is a real problem. For the last 13 years I've been doing this, that shower has caused hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. So red flag there. So it is leaking around the bottom, just the way it's designed. And then when you go into the adjacent closet, this is the wall adjacent to the shower. Here's the tack strip that's on that carpet right there. So water damage tack strip next to that shower right there, and then water damage on this wall. Stachybotrys chaetomium is what we have. And then this new layer, the mycotoxin testing, has revealed, so this is, now I swabbed the actual visible in the bedroom in that wall cavity right there. This is a mycotoxin swab. So this line right here, lit up across the whole house, is the Stachybotrys mycotoxin and the chaetomium. So we got max counts here and here from that spot. And then, to be thorough, we tested the rest of the house. So I did the top floor, which was a floor that they did a lot of craft stuff in, a lot of contents. That's the master bedroom wall cavity. I did the main floor that the master was on, everything but the master bedroom, and then we did the basement. And that, as you can see, the mycotoxins are spread equally around the house. There's a spike here because we actually swab the visible. So what does that mean? It means the whole house needs to be detail cleaned. The problem with this house, the contents are so heavy that they're going to have to drop a pod in the driveway and fill it full of contents in an effort to get it to the point to where it can reasonably be cleaned. And this is probably a 4,000 square foot house. If they hire it done by a professional, which they are, it's going to be around a $20,000 cleaning job. The remediator doing it is unfamiliar with mycotoxin cleaning. I'm going to point them in the right direction on the chemicals and the processes, but they're not going to warranty the work. So that's where we are in the mycotoxin cleaning world. Now, you take this a step further as a client. These are all the mycotoxins. This is a nice visual provided by Hayes Microbial in the mycotoxin lab. So tricholithicines are the category that those fall into, and you have, at this point, when you get your blood work done, you're going to know what mycotoxins you have in your blood work. They'll have some crossover names, but for the most part, these are going to be the main ones. But Chaetomium globicin would be one that we have here, and then the tricholithicines is what we have in this one, and she had a cladosporium and cladosporides, which we haven't identified other than the conventional test. I did find cladosporium under the kitchen sink, so we're making a tie there, but we don't have the mycotoxins identified with that lab. All that being said, once you get your blood work done, then you could look at a chart like this and go, well, that's affecting neurologicals. The Stachybotrys and Chaetomium are going to be neurological mycotoxins. They affect the brain. They're hallucinations, migraines, those type of things, because that spore usually riding with a mycotoxin on a piece of dust goes in your nose, goes straight to your brain, because that membrane, it just gets absorbed right there. So that's what makes that one such a wicked mycotoxin, and it is associated with the water damage around that shower. So that is a great visual. You just plug that in. Here's the mycotoxin. This is the line we're on with the Stachy and the Chaetomium. This one was from Fusarium, which I did not identify with the conventional labs, but it's there, so it will be cleaned in the cleaning protocol. This was the master bed wall cavity adjacent to the shower. This was the Chaetomium globosum and Stachybotrys chaetomium. So that is the gene and the species, and you need that to cross over to the mycotoxin table. So you can only get that by a swab and a plate or a culture. The downstairs game room has its own infestation. So this is interesting. The downstairs game room had an 11,000 count of Penicillium airborne, and we got this from a swab on the ceiling. So we have a known part in this house, known Penicillium infestation at a pretty significant level, but we didn't identify a mycotoxin associated with it. So that would tell us that although Penicillium does create mycotoxins, it did not create mycotoxins in this house that we could detect. And that was a pretty thorough sampling. So that just goes to show you, just because you have a mold infestation does not mean you're going to have a mycotoxin infestation. So that was proven right there on that line. And with this house, a lot was learned from this job. And that is probably as significant a thing that was learned as anything, is that just because you have a mycotoxin making mold doesn't mean you're going to have mycotoxins. So all in all, it's a fascinating case study. The job is ongoing. It is in the process of the source removal, which it's significant in this house. There's probably 5 workspaces. And then once they're done with that, then the mycotoxin cleaning can begin. So a long way to go on this project, but some really great visuals.